Stop scrolling because if a woman has ever desired you and you didn't notice, this video will sting, but it will also change everything. Most men don't lose women because they're unattractive. They lose them because they miss the moment. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to never miss it again. Listen carefully. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal 3 unmistakable signs a woman shows when desire is already alive inside her. But you must stay until the 3rd sign because that one happens in plain sight right in front of everyone. Yet almost no man recognizes it until it's too late. And once you see it, you'll never unsee it. It definitely wasn't because you weren't attractive enough. It happened because nobody ever taught you the language of female desire. And that language is nothing like the male one. When a man feels desire, he usually knows immediately and he tends to act directly. But when a woman feels desire, she doesn't rush forward. She tests, she creates context. She opens doors, but she rarely walks through them alone. Instead, she watches. She waits. She wants to see if you understand the invitation. And if you're honest with yourself, you've probably felt this before. That moment where something seemed like it could become something more, but you hesitated, or you overthought it, or worse, you dismissed it completely. Maybe you told yourself, she's just being nice. Maybe you convinced yourself you were imagining things. And later, hours, days, even years later, it hit you. That quiet realization, wait, she was actually interested. If that's ever happened to you, I want you to drop a comment right now and just write, I missed it, because you're not alone. And more importantly, you're about to change that. Hi, I'm Mary Smith, host of the Senior Mindful Living YouTube channel. This isn't about playing games. It isn't about manipulation. It's about awareness. For thousands of years, women have had to be selective, not out of vanity, but out of necessity. So today, when a woman feels desire, it doesn't come out loud and obvious. It comes out subtle, layered, and intentional. It whispers instead of shouting. And those whispers, they're what we're going to decode together. Because once you understand them, everything changes. You stop guessing. You stop doubting yourself. You stop missing the moment. Let's begin with the first sign. She touches you without a reason. This is where most men get it wrong immediately. Because the moment it happens, their brain jumps in and tries to rationalize it away. Oh, she's just friendly. But here's the truth. Friendliness follows rules. Desire breaks them. Think about the last time someone touched you casually. Maybe it was a quick tap to get your attention. Maybe it was a brief handshake. Those touches are efficient, functional. But when desire is present, something shifts. The touch lingers. It lasts just a second longer than necessary. Maybe 2. And that extra second, that's everything. Because that's not logic. That's her nervous system speaking. There's fascinating research in neuroscience that explains this. When attraction is activated, the brain begins seeking confirmation. It might be her lightly touching your arm while laughing at something you said, even when it wasn't that funny. It might be her adjusting your collar or brushing something off your shirt that didn't really need brushing. It might be her placing her hand on your shoulder during a conversation and just leaving it there for a moment longer than expected. I once worked with a client who told me about a coworker he had known for months. He said she was nice, easy to talk to. But as we unpacked their interactions, a pattern emerged. Every time they spoke, she would find a way to touch him, his arm, his back. Months later, she started dating someone else, and only then did he realize what had been right in front of him the entire time. He didn't miss it because he wasn't attractive. He missed it because he didn't recognize the signal. And this is where your response matters more than the signal itself. Because when she touches you, she's not just expressing desire, she's observing you. Do you tense up, or do you stay calm, grounded, and present? That calm presence is what communicates safety. So here's a simple exercise for you. The next time a woman touches you, even lightly, don't rush to interpret it. Just notice it. Stay present. Breathe. Because the men who understand this don't chase the signal, they receive it. And that difference changes everything. Now, let's go deeper, because the second sign happens even earlier than touch, and once you see it, you'll start noticing it everywhere. The second sign is subtle, almost invisible if you're not paying attention. But once you understand it, it becomes one of the clearest indicators. Her eyes start speaking differently. Now, everyone talks about eye contact, but very few people actually explain what changes in a woman's eyes. One of those responses is pupil dilation, an involuntary reaction controlled by the nervous system. She can't fake it. She can't control it. But here's the thing. Most men never notice it directly. What they do notice without realizing is the rhythm. She looks at you, holds the gaze just slightly longer than normal. Then she looks away. She looks down. And then, after a brief moment, she looks back up at you again. That downward glance is incredibly important. Psychologically, it's known as a micro-expression of receptivity. It signals openness, but also vulnerability. And this is where most men split into three categories. The first type gets overly excited, they rush forward and break the tension. But the third type, the grounded man, does something different. He stays. He holds the moment with calm awareness. Because attraction isn't created through words, it's created through emotional tension, that quiet, unspoken connection. Have you ever experienced a moment like that? Where for a few seconds everything else faded away? No words, just presence. Let me share a quick story. A woman once described to me how she met her partner. It wasn't what he said, it was how he looked at her. He simply met her gaze calmly, confidently. She told me, it made me feel seen, but not pressured. That's the balance, seen, but not chased. So here's something you can start practicing immediately. Pay attention to how she looks at you, not just if she does, but how she does. Notice the pauses. And when it happens, don't interrupt it. Let it breathe. Because that space, that silence, is where attraction grows. Now, we're about to move into the third sign. This is the one that changes everything. It ends friendships, starts relationships, and creates regret. The third sign is the most misunderstood and the most powerful. She creates privacy. In fact, it often looks completely ordinary. You're in a group setting. Maybe it's a party, a social gathering, a workplace environment. People are around, conversations are happening, energy is scattered. She suggests grabbing a drink with you. She lowers her voice. She steps just a little closer. What she's doing is creating a bubble. Because before a woman allows desire to fully unfold, emotionally or physically, she needs space, not isolation, not pressure. Just enough separation from the noise of the outside world to feel safe exploring what she's feeling. Most men freeze in this moment. They stay in the group when she's clearly stepping out of it, and in doing so, they let the moment close. I remember speaking to a man who told me about a moment he still regretted. She said, "Hey, come with me. I want to show you something." He said, "Oh, I'll stay here." She didn't ask again. That was the moment. And it passed. He thought he was being polite. She interpreted it as disinterest or lack of confidence. First, notice it. When she shifts the environment, when she pulls you slightly away, that's your cue. Second, match her energy. Meet her where she is. If she lowers her voice, you lower yours. If she steps closer, you allow the distance to close naturally. If she invites you somewhere, go. By the time a woman creates privacy, she has already felt something. She's already decided there's potential. She's seeing if you can meet her there. So let's bring this together. A lingering touch, a meaningful glance, a moment of privacy. These are not random. They are signals. But now you are. And awareness changes everything. Because once you recognize these moments, you stop guessing. You start responding with clarity and confidence. Comment below, "I see it now." Because when you put it into words, it becomes real. It becomes something you carry with you into your next interaction, your next conversation, your next opportunity. If this opened your eyes, take a second to like the video. And if you want to go deeper, make sure you subscribe. This is just the beginning. You didn't miss your chances because you weren't enough. You missed them because no one ever showed you where to look. Now you know. Use it wisely. The second sign is subtle. So subtle that most men walk past it their entire lives without ever realizing what they just experienced. Now, I want you to forget everything you've heard about eye contact being a trick or a technique. This isn't about staring longer. What we're talking about here is something far deeper, something that happens automatically. When a woman feels drawn to you, her eyes communicate. It's not about intensity. It's about rhythm. She looks at you, holds it just a moment longer than normal. Then she looks away. She looks down. Psychologically, that downward glance is often associated with vulnerability. It's her nervous system signaling, "I'm open, but I need to feel safe here." And this is where everything can either build or collapse. Because your reaction to that moment tells her more about you than anything you could ever say. Let's slow this down for a second and really sit in this moment together. Imagine you're in a conversation, and then suddenly it happens. There's a softness there that wasn't there before. She breaks eye contact, looks down, and meets your eyes again. There's a pause, a silence. Now, what most men do in that exact moment is either rush to fill the silence or escape from it. They start talking faster, trying to keep it safe. But the men who truly understand attraction do something very different. They stay. They don't try to control the moment. They don't panic. They simply allow it. Mist curling around tree trunks in a silent, ancient forest, symbolic of the space where attraction lives, cinematic. And I want to ask you something honestly. Have you ever experienced a moment like that, where time seemed to slow down just a little, where it felt charged? If you have, you already know how powerful that moment can be. Let me share something that might bring this closer to home. It wasn't a big romantic gesture, she told me. It made me feel calm, but also excited. Like he wasn't trying to take anything from me, but he wasn't afraid of me either. That's the balance. And presence is something you can practice. Here's a simple exercise I want you to try, not just in romantic situations, but in everyday interactions as well. Here's a simple exercise I want you to try. The next time you're talking to someone, focus fully on the moment. Notice their expressions, notice the pauses. And when you feel that slight shift, don't break it immediately. Stay with it. Breathe. Let it exist without needing to control it. At first, it might feel unfamiliar, and awareness is where everything begins to change. Now, there's another layer to this. It's also about recognizing how often she returns to you. When a woman is attracted, her attention keeps coming back. Even in a group setting, you'll notice her eyes finding you again and again. It's consistent. And consistency is what separates genuine interest from coincidence. Anyone can make eye contact once, but repeated, intentional glances, that's different. But again, what matters most is how you respond. If you chase it too eagerly, it fades. If you meet it calmly, naturally, without pressure, it grows. So catch that look, don't overthink it, just notice it, and stay present. Now, we're about to step into the third sign. This is the one that changes everything. It's the moment where attraction starts becoming intentional. And the reason most men miss it is because it doesn't look like desire at all. It looks ordinary. The third sign is the one that quietly decides everything. It's the moment where attraction stops being a possibility and starts becoming a choice. She creates privacy. Now, this doesn't look dramatic. There's no spotlight, no music, no obvious signal. Real attraction often moves in quiet, intentional shifts. You're in a shared environment, maybe a gathering, a party, a workplace conversation, a group of friends. Energy is spread out. She says something like, "Hey, come with me for a second." Or, "Let's grab a drink." She lowers her voice. She moves a little closer. She creates a small, invisible space where it's just the two of you. That's the signal. Before a woman allows attraction to deepen, she needs emotional safety. Privacy in this context is about connection. When she creates that space, she's testing alignment. She's asking, "Will you meet me here?" And your response matters more than anything. This is where hesitation becomes visible. This is where men either step into the moment or step away from it. Most men default to caution. They stay where it's comfortable, where nothing can go wrong, but nothing can grow either. And in that small decision, the moment fades. Not dramatically, just quietly. She pulls her energy back. The connection softens, and what could have become something meaningful returns to something ordinary. Let me share something that happens often. She says, "Hey, I'm going to grab some fresh air. You should come." He hesitates. He says, "Oh, maybe later." He thinks he's being relaxed, but what she experiences is disengagement, because attraction isn't just about interest, it's about timing. Miss that window, and the energy changes. So what should you do differently? Recognize the shift, accept the invitation, not with intensity, just naturally. If she says, "Come with me," you go. No overthinking. Because confidence in this context isn't loud, it's fluid. It's your ability to move with the moment instead of resisting it. And third, stay present once you're there. Don't rush to escalate. Just be with her. Listen, feel. She's looking for presence, she's looking for emotional steadiness. If you can meet her there, that's where it begins. Let's bring all of this together now. A lingering touch, a meaningful glance, a moment of privacy. Individually, they may seem small, but together, they tell a story. Missing these moments doesn't mean you weren't good enough. It means you didn't know what to look for, but now you do. Behavior changes outcomes. Recognition creates clarity. So the next time you feel that subtle shift, don't dismiss it. Meet it. Before you leave, write, "I see it now." Because when you put it into words, you begin to own it. If this gave you a new perspective, like the video and subscribe. What we're building here isn't just knowledge. It's awareness. It's presence. A different way of experiencing connection. You didn't miss your chances because you weren't enough. You missed them because no one ever showed you where to look. Now you know. And what you do with that is up to you.